Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. La nabiyya wa la rasula ba'da. My name is Faiz Muzakki Al-Faruq. My study ID number 200602110158. I from Class Biology D. Okay, in here I will present Islamic history material about Islamic civilization during the Umayyah Dynasty. Point 1. The origin of the Umayyad. Muawiyah was the founder of the Umayyad dynasty. He was the son of Abu Sufyan ibn Harb ibn Umayyah ibn Abdul Sham ibn Abdul Manaf. As a descendant of Abu Manaf, Muawiyah had a relationship with the Prophet Muhammad SAW. He converted to Islam on the day of the conquest of the city Mecca with older residents. At that time, Muawiyah was 23 years old. The Umayyad dynasty ruled from 91 years from 41 and 132 Hijriah until 661 until 750, with 40 caliphs, starting with Umayyah ibn Abdul Sufyan and ending with Marwan bin Muhammad. At first, the Umayyad government was democratic and turned into a founder of kingdom. The center of government centered in Damascus. This is intended to make it easier to govern, because Muawiyah has held power in the region for so long and the territorial expansion has been so extensive. Muawiyah, in his leadership, adopted more of the patient of Roman royal system, tended to be authoritarian, and the decision rested with the leader. Towards the day of his life, he appointed his son Yazid to be his successor, and he asked all the people to follow and obey him. Likewise, at the next stage, every change of power is carried out from generation to generation. Next point, progress achieved by the Umayyad dynasty. The Umayyad dynasty lasted 91 years with 14 caliphs. Various advances have been made during the dynasty. In the field of administration, for example, various government administrative institutions have been formed to support the leadership of the Umayyad dynasty. Many policies were carried out at this time, including number 1, separation of power, division of territory, the file of government administration, financial organization, army organization, social and culture fields, and then art and literature. In addition to territorial expansion, the Umayyad dynasty government also paid attention to the field of education. Among the sciences that are developing at this time are: number 1, religious science, such as the Quran, Hadith, and Fiqh. The process of Hadith bookkeeping took place during the time of Caliph Umar bin Abdul Aziz. Since then, the Hadith has developed rapidly. Number 2, the science of history and geography. That is, all the science that discuss the journey of life. The story and history of Ubaid ibn Shariah al-Jurhumi succeeded in the writing various historical events. Number 3, science in the field of language. That's it. All science that study language, grammar, nerves, etc. Number 4, that field philosophy. That is, all science that generally come from various nations, such as logic, chemistry, astronomy, arithmetic, and related science, as well as medicine. The next point, the development of Islamic civilization during the Umayyad dynasty. Legacy of Islamic civilization during the Umayyad dynasty was in the form of physical building, public facility, etc., and non-physical, intellectual, and scientific. Below will be described some of the relays the exists are as follows. Point 1. Development of buildings in the form physical. In the aspect of physical development, many roads and markets and built. Agriculture was also development. New irrigation were introduced to the people of Andalusia who did not know before. Dams, canal, secondary canal, tertiary canal, and waterways were erected. Several cities were built, including the following famous city: Cordova. The city is located on the southern slopes of the Sierra, the Cordova mountain, and on the banks of the Guadalquivir River before Spain was conquered by Islamic armies in 117 Masehi. Cordova was the capital of the Visigothic Christian Empire before moving to Toledo. In 756 Masehi, the city became the capital and center of the Umayyad government in Spain. After the Umayyad in Damascus fell to the Bani Abbas in 750 Masehi as the capital of the government. Cordova in the Umayyad period experienced a very rapid development. Many new buildings were erected, such as place in mosque gardens, as well as upgrades in Islamic architectural style, which has 16 arches in the Roman style, connecting Cordova with the suburbs across the river. During the rise of the Umayyad in Spain, Cordova became a center of knowledge. In the city stands the University of Cordova. Many scholars from the extant Islamic world and interest in the teaching at this university. And then Granada. The city is located on the banks of the Canal River at the foot of the Sierra Nevada mountains, adjacent to the Mediterranean Sea coast, Mediterranean Sea. In the 11th century, Granada became the fifth largest city in Spain. The city is surrounded by walls. The population structures consist of a mixture of various nationalities, especially Arab, barbarians, and Spaniards were adhered to three major religions, namely Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Since the 13th century, Granada was ruled by the Nasrid dynasty for approximately 250 years. It was at that time that a beautiful and magnificent palace were built, which were now the Alhambra Palace, which makes Granada is famous for the walls and the 20 towers that surround it. During the reign of Muhammad, Granada reached the peak of glory, both in architecture and in the politics. The next, number 2, non-physical development. Point out the progress achievement in the political field. The progress of Islam in Andalusia is legally determined by the existence of strong and authoritative rulers who are able to unite the force of Muslims, such as Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil, uh, Abdul al-Rahman al-Washid, Abdul al-Rahman al-Nashir. The political success of these leaders were supported by the wisdom of other rulers who pioneered scientific activities. Religion tolerance were upheld by the rules against Christians and Jews, so that the participants in the realizing the Arab Islam civilization in Andalusia. For Christian and Jews, special judges are provided to handle matters according to their respective religion. This shows the although Muslims are divided in several political units, they can work together and contribute their respective advantages. Point D. Advance achieved in the field of science. In the more than several years period of the Umayyad rule, Muslims have achieved extraordinary triumphs that have had an impact on progress in other parts of the world. The advances are as follows. Number 1. Intellectual progress. Andalusia is a fertile land. Its fertility brings high economic income and in turn products my dingles. Andalusian society in a pluralistic society consisting of Arab communities north and south. Al-Mawaludin, Andalusia people who converted to Islam, barbarians, Muslim from North Africa, As-Saqaliba, resident of the area between Constantinople and Bulgarian who were taken prisoner by Great Germany and sold to Islam businessmen to become mercenaries, etc. All of these communities give intellectual stake to the formation of the Andalusia culture environment that give birth to scientific, literary, and physical development revival in Andalusia. Number 2. Progress in the field of philosophy. Islamic Andalusia had recorded a very brilliant cultural shift in the 40s of Islamic history, and served as a crossing break stroke with Greco-Arabic science passed to Europe in the 12th century AD. Interest in the philosophy and science began to be developed in the 9th century AD during the reigns of the five Umayyad rulers, Muhammad ibn Abdul al-Rahman. The next point. Point 8. Progress in the field of Islam. For example, number 1, science of Qira'at. Number 2, science of interpretation. Number 3, science of hadith. Number 4, science of Nahwu and Saraf. Number 5, science of history. Point B, the progress of science. Number 1, science of chemistry. Number 2, medicine. Number 3, science earth. Number 4, science astronomy. Point C, completed art, for example. Number 1, art of literature, art, sculpture, carving, art sound, art speeches, art willing, art composer, art leader. Conclusion. So, Muawiyah was the founder of the Umayyah dynasty. He was the son of Abu Sufyan ibn Harb ibn Umayyah ibn Abdul Sham ibn Abdul Manaf. As a descendant of Abdul Manaf, Muawiyah had a close relationship with the Prophet Muhammad SAW, and the Umayyad dynasty lasted from 91 years with 14 caliphs. Various advances have been made during the dynasty, namely in the field of administration, as well as the rise of Islamic civilization during the Umayyad dynasty. There are physical buildings, public facility, etc., and non-physical, intellectual, and scientific. Thanks for your attention. I think enough. I'm sorry for my mistake. And then, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.